1. He looks really good, considerin', Emmeline Amos sniffed, pushing her way past an enormous bouquet of white lilies standing by Landon Wells's casket at Tate & Son's home of eternal rest. She pulled Dixie Davis with her, away from Landon's casket and into the privacy of a connecting morning room, where she set Dixie on a couch surrounded by pictures of Landon. The scent of dark wood paneling, vanilla candles, and Old Spice invaded Dixie's nose, making her ugly cry hangover pulse in her temples with the force of a sledgehammer. Dixie lifted her sunglasses, thwarting another ambush of tears, so grateful for the opportunity to have had a few moments alone with Landon without the intrusion of the long line of people who'd shown up to pay their last respects. She muttered up at Em, "Why does everyone always say that, Em? Landon's dead. There's nothing good-looking about it. I always thought that was a crude thing to say." Em huffed, brushing the brim of her black sun hat, and sat down beside her. She gave her a nudge to make some room. "It's not crude. I was complimenting him. New adjective, please," she drawled, her southern lilt like macaroni and cheese to Dixie's homesick ears. Comfort food for the soul. Crass? Crass is harsh, Dixie. Landon Wells, her best friend ever, was dead. That was harsh. Harsher still, Landon's other best friend, Kane Donovan, was just outside that door. Don't forget he's your ex-fiancé, too. Right. Dixie started to regret her terse words with Emmeline. She couldn't afford to alienate the one and only, albeit totally reluctant, ally she had left in her small hometown of Plum Orchard, Georgia. Maybe what was making her so snappish was exhaustion after the long drive from Chicago, or the anxiety of returning to said small hometown where everyone knew her name and mostly wanted to throw darts at her picture. Maybe it was the precariousness of her life in financial semi-ruin that made her voice what she'd been thinking for almost 2 hours, as mourner after mourner repeated Em's words while she'd waited for her private viewing of Landon's body. Or maybe it was the likelihood that a good portion of the female population of Plum Orchard High, class of 1996, were just outside this very funeral home with metaphoric steaks soaked in the town's specialty, homemade plum wine, just waiting for Reverend Watson to perform her public exorcism. Then they could seal the deal by driving their angry pieces of wood right through her despicable heart. It would be nothing less than she deserved. She'd been a horrible person in high school and beyond, and here in Plum Orchard, where time seemed to stand still, no one forgot. You were horrible long after high school, too, Dixie. To Kane. Point. Most of her anxiety had to do with the fact that she had no choice but to see Kane Donovan again. Bingo, Dixie. The thought of seeing him left her feeling fragile and raw. To this damn day, his memory still leaves you breathless. Acknowledged. Dark, star-filled nights under a scratchy army blanket in the bed of Kane's pickup truck, the scent of magnolias clinging to their sticky skin. It was just one of many of the images, both good and bad, she'd warred with since her return to Plum Orchard became a reality. She scrunched her eyes shut before reopening them. "Sorry," Em said, dragging her from her internal war. Her blue eyes held sympathy beneath her wide-brimmed hat. "I'm glad they gave you some time alone with Landon before the latecomers swarm in to pay their last respects. I can't even imagine how much this hurts." Em squeezed her shoulder with reassuring fingers. Dixie let out a shaky sigh, hooking her arm through Em's. "No, I'm the one who's sorry. I'm tired and on edge, and you've been so kind to me through this whole process when I totally don't deserve—" "No, you surely do not, Dixie Davis." Em's voice rose, then just as quickly reduced to just above a whisper. She peered over her shoulder as though unseen eyes might bear witness to her bad manners. God forbid. "You were a mean girl back in the day. My high school years were torture because of you. And might I remind you, people don't forget, especially here in little old Plum Orchard. Why, you're lucky I even picked up the phone during Landon's last days, knowing it was you I had to talk to on the other end of the line.